to AZTF News. My name is Matt Sherman, and I'm with my co-host. Feel free to introduce yourself, Philip.
Hey everyone, Philip Pipkins. Been in the community for about 12 years, so excited to see how this goes.
So this is a complete and total experiment where there's some shows as of recent that have been interesting to consume news with. When primarily, I think Philip and I both watched All In with Jason Calacanis and David Sachs and the crew. But we were thinking it could be fun and interesting to do a specific show live stream focused on all things Arizona tech. So this is very, very last minute put together, but we have a little docket put together for y'all, and we're excited. I think maybe to kick us off, Philip, can you give us just like a maybe a brief background on you so people can get to know you just a little bit? I'll give a little bit of background on myself, and then we'll go into today's docket, which includes some super exciting news.
Yeah, so Philip Pipkins here in Phoenix, Arizona. I went to ASU, graduated with a film and literature degree. I ended up in startups by applying on Craigslist and got a job at a well-funded startup out of Palo Alto. I actually spent about 10 years at Silicon Valley Bank before it was famous or before everyone knew about it, and that's where I cut my teeth. So worked my way up from being tech support on the phones to the VP of the Southwest, and from there I left, started up a debt fund called Prospect, still going strong with my partner Ryan, and then after that I left and started up a fund called The Tour, which is has some interesting things going on with it right now.
All right. Appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, Philip and I feel like we got connected. We were in the same community in general, but I feel like it was Jampad that brought us together. I feel like you played poker we played poker together once, and that was fun. And now we're in the same community and co-hosts of the show. A little bit on me before we go into the docket is I'm born and bred in Phoenix, Arizona. Been in startups for about a decade. I discovered startups through the internet. I discovered a kind of a course or whatever you call it called How to Start a Startup, put on by Y Combinator. Sam Altman was leading it at the time. I found it on YouTube, and through that I was really motivated and interested in the startup world, and since started a couple companies, raised a little bit of money, got connected to a bunch of investors, and really fell in love with the game of capital raising and helping outsiders learn the game of raising that money. Today I do ad sales at Product Hunt. On the side I advise a lot of startups, and who knows what the future brings with this awesome show format that we have going for us. So to kick us off, there's a fresh news that I want to pull up here, so there's a company that just raised a $2.6 million seed round, Shiloh AI. I've done zero research up until this point.
Okay.
So I'm going to pull them up now. Have you done any research as well, or are we going to do live research on the show, Philip?
Yeah. How about we try out the live research?
Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna share my screen here, and we're gonna look up this Shiloh AI company. So Shiloh AI, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
is this the Matt Sherman due diligence? Right, here we go.
This is Matt Sherman. Yeah, we're gonna look at this company. They raised $2.6 million from, here we go, from AZVC.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of them, which makes sense. It's a seed round. I mean, it's a seed round, so like the whole point is this is like they're coming out, to the world party. So future proof. Okay, what are we thinking? Do you just based off this, do you feel like you know what they do? Let's see.
Let's see here. Top 4 real estate future proof of business. Okay, it says it's in real estate, so I'm assuming it's probably some sort of possibly AI agent or some sort of platform for real estate agents. I'm gonna assume on the commercial side or on the retail side, but it could be.
Yeah. I feel like they could use better word future proof. I'm just like that's a lot of real estate for something that says very little about what they do. But let's keep going. So they have this dashboard. It looks like
Yeah, they got agent feedback. So I
yeah. What do you? Yeah, what are you? Yeah, so it's you may. I think you have a better. Oh, oops. I think you have a better. Why is it not? There we go. Um, I think you have a better view on this than I do. What is this? I don't know even real estate. I don't know how to like evaluate this. Is it like agents look at homes
Like,
and tell? Yeah. Do you know what's going on here?
it looks like it might be kind of like a dashboard for the agent themselves, so it summarizes their calls,
Oh wait, we're
gives
talking
them
about. Hold on, we're
insights.
talking about real human agents, like real estate agents. Is that right? Or are we talking about like agent, like AI agents?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I believe it's real estate agents using AI agents, agents
That,
using agents, agents on agents.
that is meta. So it's agents using. Okay, so I'm an agent, and I want an agent to do work for me, like an AI agent. I would
Mhm.
use Shiloh. Okay, let's keep going. Looks like they have some customers. I'm sure all these are great. I'm not in the real estate space. Oh, here we go. Laugh Lawton, Levi Rogers. Haven't heard of any of them. Again, I'm sure they're great. This is not my space. Have you heard of any? Like, I don't. Are these notable brands? Have you heard of any of these?
Uh, I don't think so, except for the Laughlin. But
Yeah,
um, either way, I mean,
I'm
real
sure
estate's
it's
pretty
great.
big, so
Yeah.
they probably got. I mean, they got the funding to boot. So
They got the funding, and the 100%. Millions of hours. Here we go. Trained on millions of hours of calls, 15 plus language and intricacies of real estate. Shiloh sets a new standard in speech to text accuracy. Experience industry leading performance powered by AI models. Okay, so you're definitely spot on. Literally, is spot on. So it gives feedback on the calls that maybe is it who are they? So who are the calls with? Well, mostly also service level insights
I'm assuming with their clients, like
with the
real estate
clients.
agents,
Yep.
with home buyers,
That makes sense. That makes
home
sense.
sellers as well.
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's like this cool. This is kind of verticalized a bit. I have this for my role at Product Hunt. Gives me like oh, we have someone popping in. Oh, what the, Sam? We're gonna put you on pause for just 1 second. Wait, I wonder can we see is Sam live in the
No,
stream
yeah,
right
we
now?
can see. We all
Okay,
can see. I
yo,
can see
Sam,
him. What's up,
Sam,
Sam?
Sam, pop back in like 7 minutes. Pop back
Oh,
in seven
yes.
minutes. Cool. We're learning. We're learning. It's like easy agent coaching. Oh yeah, this is cool. Is it?
Mhm.
What do we think of this? Okay, so that's the company. Let's see. They have an active blog. Yeah, it's just mainly it's active as of today.
Okay.
Their seed round. Oh, and they have who invested in the seed round. Wait, let's take a look at
What you
this.
got? Yeah, what you
You
got?
got AZB. Wait, where's the this? It's kind of cut off. Let's see if the other. Okay. Oh, there we go. It's interesting. So what's your okay? So it's led by AZVC, but every other investor is like it seems to be not an actual venture investor. They seem to be like real estate investors.
Okay, well that's good then, because I
Yeah, is
mean,
that because that means that's all their customers, right? It's
yeah,
like their lead investor
yeah,
is like the
yeah,
VC, like the VC in town, but all their smaller investors are people that they can sell to. That's like a really that's bullish.
yeah. I
That's good,
mean,
right?
yeah. In my opinion, yes. If a lot of your investors are in the space and they've all validated that you, who they're going to buy from, is one of their favorites, then I think that's a good sign. If you had a bunch of investors that were all outsiders, you had nobody that was an insider, that would, you know, good luck, right? So I think this is I mean, they likely have product market fit. They probably got a little bit of founder market fit, and they've got location market fit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Arizona is a real estate mecca. So, you know, shout out to Shiloh for sure.
Shout out to Shiloh. Let's go. I wonder. I do they have their LinkedIn linked here? I feel like they don't. I wanted to look at
I'm sitting on the
their.
LinkedIn right now.
Do you see any of the team like do you see any of the team members easily?
Yeah, so there's Justin Benson. I think Justin Benson, he's the top dog, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Does he have a background in real estate or tech or both? Like I feel like both is ideal, but if it's real estate, that's good too because it's like they know their market.
Let's see. He had an agency. He did some music. He was in hospitality. I mean, I would say his background serves correctly for this.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we are excited for the newest minted seed funded company from AZVC. Let's give a round of applause for wait, where is it? Let's give a round of applause for yeah. All right, let's
Woo.
move on. Let's move on to the next item in the docket. We have Yeah, there's an have you been following this Arthur Rock guy on Twitter? Do you know who this is?
No, give her background real quick.
Okay, super is like this VC, not local VC. I mean, it could be local. He's anonymous, but like I'm guessing Bay Area VC who like leaks all of this things that eventually happen 3 months later, and he's like he like is in these meetings, but no one knows who he is because he's anonymous. So I'll show you what I mean. So
Okay.
this is Arthur Rock. This is his profile. He's got all those followers. He
Okay.
says Anti Metal closed an unannounced 20 million Series A from Sound Ventures, 3 million at the time. 3 months after launch, profitable. The reason we're talking about this is Matt, who's the founder of Anti Metal, went to ASU. He lived in Arizona for many years. I
Okay.
think, and that he worked, I believe, with Sony Patel. If you've done anything with him,
Yeah.
and
He had an insurance thing, right?
yeah, 100%. I think this was his first employee, and now he's off, doing his thing, getting backed by Sound Ventures and Ashton Kutcher out in LA. So but like this, yeah. But look at this Arthur Walker. Like, look at all he does is leak alpha. Like, look at this. Like, there's that one. Then this one, he's like standard deals for. I mean, then Clay. It says Clay GTM's at 3 billion in revenue, or maybe that's valuation. This one says, let's see, like Hikesfield, Gen AI video for creators who want cinematic control, camera motion, avatar, VFX. I mean, 11 million AR. Like no one knows this, but he knows this because he's a VC in these meetings. Feels very unethical, but also
Yeah, I was about
feels
to
like
say,
great.
yeah. How do we feel about this? So there's somebody in all these meetings who is leaking the information as if this was a music video or an album, but it's financial information. It's actually there is there's rules of engagement. So
Hmm.
I
I mean, it's
mean,
kind of a big deal. Like, if they get caught, I feel like that's like, on one hand, I think that they would get slammed. On the other hand, I feel like nothing. I feel like they just, well, they're gonna get at some point. Someone's gonna find out who they are. They're gonna get doxxed.
they're fired.
Um, but like, yeah, I feel like it's kind of bad. I feel like it's security. Is it securities fraud or what? What is it? If this guy, I mean, I like what he does, but I just don't want him to do it to me.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
is. Yeah. I guess in theory, it'd be, if he's sitting in the meeting and has proprietary information and he leaks it before they are able to provide it out. In theory, it's a breach of your fiduciary response. He would get
Yeah.
fired, or they would get fired.
Anytime you see you're in a VC meeting and you see this guy looking across the table at you, know that you're getting you're getting leaked. You're getting leaked. So just share really high numbers and maybe you'll get your seed round funded.
You know what that's a play on, right? Arthur Rock.
Of course, of course, of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
It well is it is the so I know the Arthur Rock play, but is this Arthur Rock? Like, is this what he looked like? That
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, a little older, but yeah.
Yeah, a
Arthur,
little
yeah.
older. Yeah, Arthur Rock is he's a legend from the VC industry. All right,
Mm.
let me stop sharing. I'm gonna text. Is there anything else in the docket that you want
See
to
here.
make sure that we cover while I text Sam and tell him to come back in the
I
next
guess the last
5 minutes
thing
or
is
so? Let's hear it.
the data center, right? You had that
Yeah.
on your
Yes.
docket.
Yes.
Okay, so how's that going? Because from what I understand, there is a group here. They brokered a deal, and Chamath is one of the biggest investors. Is that what it is? That how it works?
I think Chamath is the primary, if not the only investor, and then he's working with like a local group, Anita. Is her first name, who's like doing the actual development. That's my understanding of the situation.
Okay, all right. Well, shout out to that. I mean, that's pretty big as well, right? Like at the end of the day, on the freeway, all you see now is data centers, and that's a good sign for us, right? Because at the end of the day, people want to be close to that. They need to be around it, and they're going to eat the world.
So why? And this is like a genuinely curious question. Like, I actually don't know the answer.
Mhm.
Why is Arizona like such a hub for these things? Like, there's like, I found out yesterday that we have like now that it was the first, but now it's like the second biggest like nuclear energy plant at Palo Verde, and now there's this data center, and then we have TSMC. Like, we're turning into this like thing. I don't know what the word is to replace thing, but like, what
Mhm.
is that word, and like, why is it happening? Do you have like any insight in like why Arizona is kind of blowing up as this like a
Yeah,
almost like AI infrastructure hub? Is it even safe to say that that's what we are? Like, because it feels like that's what we are.
it feels like it's becoming that. I mean, I think two reasons. One, because real estate folks are really good here, and the regulations do allow for you to build. And then two, from what I understand, they spec out a lot of these locations to allow for enough power to actually be able to power the power center or the data centers. And that's just how they've been being specced out. And a lot of these are new builds in the first place. So Arizona is good at directing power to where it needs to go. That's the like quick and dirty, for what I understand.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's like it makes me very bullish. Like on it's like it's like quantitative reasons that Arizona is winning. It's not like a feely loosey goosey thing. It's not like, oh, like this community. It's like data centers like in the valley, right? And it's like I don't know. It's like it will attract great people, just like Sam over here who just joined our live stream. Sam,
Hey,
welcome
what's
to
going
the
on?
stream. How are you doing?
Am I on time this time?
Y- Oh,
Yeah,
this is perfect. You're killing it.
Awesome. Good to meet you guys.
Yeah, you as well.
Yes, good to meet. You're officially the first ever guest on the AZTFN network. All right, kind of like how that sounds, AZTFN on the AZTF News network. Welcome. How is your day going?
Thank you. Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's exciting. It's
Yeah.
going well. Getting a lot better now.
Let's go. Let's go. So, can you just give like a high level, brief introduction on yourself? I don't know if you and Philip have met yet. I know me met for coffee once, but just like walk us through just high level. Who are you? And we'll go from there.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so Sam, I now living in Scottsdale here, Arizona here. So I've started a few companies in the past, which led to me founding Treasure Financial in 2018. And let's see, now I was over in California for about 10 years in Santa Monica, moved up to the Bay Area in 2018, was there until 2023, and made the move back to Arizona once we had our second kid and wife wanted to be close to home. So got a family, we've got another baby on the way, but used to love surfing. Now I'm finding ways to love the desert. We do have an awesome surfing or a wave pool here in Arizona that I'm addicted to.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, building treasure, that's the day-to-day obsession with me. Doing it in a lot of different ways. How we started out, very different than the way we're doing it now, and very excited about the evolution. Excited to share more about that.
Alright,
I,
awesome.
I think my first question has to be, are you referring to they've changed the name 5 times, but is it like Cannon Surf Park is what you're talking about? This like
Yeah,
rebel surf like
Rebel.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Can you literally surf? Like, just dive a little more into that.
Yeah.
Can you literally surf a wave? Is it just like kind of fun body surfing, or is it like the real thing?
No, it's the real thing. They have like a 3 to 4 foot wave. It's got a little bit of a curl to it. You can
Okay.
they have these little bays where they kind of rocket you into the wave itself. And yeah, you can get some pretty good cars in there. It's a lot of fun. It's better than I would have hoped for it, to say the least.
And it's one by one, like so one person goes at a time, and they basically artificially generate that wave for you.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like what session you're in, but they have like open sessions or you can do private sessions. I think the most I've ever seen is like 3 people, in taking off on a wave, but it's pretty wide. It's I think right now it might be one of the largest, pool sizes at least. There's some better waves that I've surfed out there in terms of just artificial waves, but it's solid.
You know what? This wave pool has in correlation to something else in Arizona. Got the largest wave pool, and we got the largest foreign investment in Arizona in TSMC. That is what we do here at Arizona. Yes, we got
Big
this
time.
we got this like media kit. Anyways, okay, tell us more. Treasure. Tell us more. What is Treasure for those listening that are not familiar? Tell us more about your company.
Yeah, so Treasure is really based on that principle of financial stewardship. So we help it make it really easy to manage your finances, specifically your treasury management. We have a platform. One click, done. You can move your funds over into a Treasure investment account. It's all actively managed. So we're an RIA, registered with the SEC, and we have 3 investment products, ranging from money market, T-bills, and fixed income. And it's all based really on very focused on stability. So we're not looking for volatility. You're not going to have the best performance with us, but you're going to have the most stable product out there, which is, ideally created for small, medium-sized businesses. We're taking kind of that world of corporate treasury, making it accessible and very usable for, that single financial manager.
Okay. And are you? Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, no, it's all you. Go for it.
And so when you say treasury management, so we're talking about, is it like sweep accounts where you're automatically sweeping the money, and I don't have to really understand anything except for my end goals, or is it more of
Yeah.
a platform, or is it more of a human play, and I call you up, you move my money for me?
We're really good at meeting the customer where they're at. Everybody wants something different in terms of customer success or customer service. And so, if you want to call us up, you definitely have a phone number. You can call us. You can reach us on Slack. You can reach us via email. But it is a platform. You see this a lot with like Ramp, Mercury, a lot of these other neobanks out there. They have this kind of bolt-on treasury component to it. We're that times 10. It's much more robust, much more catered to what you need. Driven by a lot more intelligence and data, but first and foremost, we're using the data inside your business, and so it's very specific to what you need, but they're also very flexible at the same time.
Okay. Does it work in conjunction? So let's say we have Mercury Bank. Would we then utilize your platform on top of Mercury Bank, or are you
Yeah,
your own bank? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so our custodian is Apex. We're not a bank. We're not trying to become a bank. I think with Mercury, you can't really use their treasury services until you have, I think, like 250,000 is their
Mm-hmm.
minimum, or it might be even a little higher. But we help any business at any stage. We have a lot of customers. I'd say average 15 to 60 million in revenue is really kind of where we see the bulk of our customers. But yeah, we are basically a complement to any of your operating accounts that you have. So you open up your operating account. We look at idle cash as what do you need to have in your operating account for the next 30 days. Anything in addition to that, our service basically helps you identify what's the highest and best use for every one of those dollars. And that's really the service that we're providing.
Okay. So you're getting people using.
I love the planning, man.
It's
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 great.
it's,
Yeah.
it's an incredible service. Sorry, keep going, Philip.
No, I was gonna say, so you're giving folks yield, so because I'm trying to put them on, Matt.
Do it,
So
yeah, do it. Let's
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going.
So you give people yield, right? And what would, I guess, what's the average, or what's the expected additional yield that I would get? Let's say I'm regular person, I'm getting whatever, less than 1% in my
Yeah,
in
so
my
I
bank
mean,
account. Yeah.
I would say the bulk of our customers are going to be in T-bills or money market. That's the most liquid. Everything is 3 days or better in terms of liquidity, so nothing's locked up. I think last month we were right around 4.1% on
Okay.
T-bills, and just under that with our money market. So you're getting much better than what you're going to get at your current bank, especially when it comes to just your operating account. Again, we're not trying to chase yield either. I mean, there's definitely times where we could give you a much better yield, but we're very much focused on that consistency. And so when other companies will have some down months, we'll be pretty stable, if not still up.
Okay.
You mentioned that you came back to Arizona in 23 or 24. Two questions. One, are you from here? And then two, if you are from here, what's it been like to come back? And like what are you enjoying about being back in the desert?
Yeah, so definitely I'm a boomerang as they would call it. Started out here. So I moved there in 2010, and I'd always wanted to live there. I'm obsessed with the ocean. I love being next to the ocean. So there's that aspect of it. That was probably the hardest part about leaving, I would say. That and kind of the community, just kind of the energy that you get, especially in the Bay Area and also I would say LA. You can go to any Blue Bottle and just spin up, a conversation with, any ideas there. Where, here coming back home, like that's been, I think, probably the biggest difference. Until I met Matt Sherman, that was, a game changer for me. It got a great community here, but there you go. Yeah, and so like that,
It's quite humble.
that's probably been the biggest challenge. It's way hotter than I remember, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of great aspects here. I mean, access to nature, being able to do a lot of different things. The taxes, from building a business here, I would say from a cost standpoint is definitely more efficient. Sure, you don't get as many of the benefits, that you see in like Austin or some of those other states. But there's definitely a lot more business friendly environment here, in my opinion.
Okay, what about fintech? What about the fact that you're a fintech company? Is there you find any value in being in Arizona because of that?
I don't know if I'd say value yet, because fortunately with the pandemic, that really pushed that whole ecosystem to be very distributed. So I haven't had it, too many challenges in terms of being able to get in touch with the right people or connect with certain companies. I mean, we can talk to anyone we need at any time. Building relationships, I would say that still is really the challenging part, and then finding the right talent. We're moving the company here, but I'm also going back to an in-person workforce, and so there will be definitely a long tail version of that. But any new hires we make, we're making it here in Arizona, and so
Okay.
we just made our first hire, a couple weeks ago, and to come in and help with operations. Now we're starting to look for engineering. That's probably the next couple hires we're going to be making. And so starting to put the word out there and meet with the right people. We do have several financial powerhouses here that we're able to connect with, and so I mean it's not that there's no opportunity. It's just that you got to know where the pockets are. You got to find the right communities, and that's probably the case with any city.
I have two quick questions, and then we will call it a day. Thank you so much for being our first guest on our stream. The first question: is there a way to have a treasury product for my money that only is in progress when Bitcoin is up like 3% in a given day? So like it's just like, but like, if it's not up 3%, then I don't have to. I'm just joking. It's just like it's a good Bitcoin day. I'm just like, let's go. And secondly, where can someone learn more about about Treasure? If you're hiring, where can they go? Essentially, like give your plug if they want to learn more. They're intrigued in your offering of Treasury for small to mid to large size companies. Where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely reach out, shoot me an email anytime, sam@treasure.tech. Our website is treasurefinancial.com or treasurefi.com. Both of those work. And yeah, feel free to connect. Going back to your first question, Matt, that's something that we're starting to think about actually, and might have something in the future here. But yeah, we've got a lot in the works that we're excited about.
Bitcoin is like 99% it not doing what I wanted to do and 1% doing it what I wanted to do. So it's I don't we'll see. It's just something to evaluate. Well, thank you.
When you match that with like the DeMark indicators, that's where it gets actually really cool. You can see exhaustion level. Anyways, well, that's another topic. But
We'll have you back on to AZTFN at another time. Thank you so much for coming on, Sam. We will see you on the next stream. See you, man.
Guys.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. All right, and now we have Danush popping in. Are you able to unmute yourself? Yes. Danush, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
We're just hanging out here on AZTFN. That rings, doesn't it? AZTFN. That's like that kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit. Well, Danush, if one, am I just like am I pronouncing it correct? Danush, is that correct?
Yeah, that's
cool. Fine. Please just introduce yourself. I don't know if you and Phil have met before. I don't know if the audience has met before. So tell us more about you, and then tell us about what you're working on. Then we'll dive into your big announcement for the summer.
Cool. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Danush here. I'm a 19-year-old app developer and an indie hacker. I've been coding since my high school. Won a lot of hackathons, and I'm a serial builder. And right now I'm building we was a college club. You can call it a college club. We started with a group of 10 friends. And now we built a builder community, a hacker community of more than 350 to 400 people. In just over 1 year, we've received 25K in investments from VCs and sponsors across the valley. And we've been hosting tech and entrepreneurial events to promote the building culture and uplift the startup environment here in Arizona.
Cool. I'll ask one follow-up question, and then Phil, you probably have a few because it's the first time that you've met. Walk us through specifically the some of the at least one of the events that you've done, maybe like the hackathon that you did a few months ago. Walk us through what that was about, and then give us and then leave there, and we'll save your future plans for one of the future questions.
Cool. Yeah. So we've hosted a lot of events. We've hosted about 8+ events, and across the 8 events, we've had about 1,000 participants altogether. And the hackathon was the big success that we hosted recently. It was one of the biggest student-led hackathons in Arizona. We had about 350 plus applicants and 170 plus participants in person, and we had like 50 plus projects. And yeah, I mean, we had a lot of VCs, pour some money into the hackathon, and Matt Sherman himself, put quite some money into that. And and the best part was this also had some entrepreneurial essence to it, which means that we called in VCs and startup founders to judge the projects of these hackathons, unlike normal regular hackathons. And surprisingly, a lot of projects here got funding interest from the VCs who came to judge. So yeah, that's what made us stand out, and that's what I'm really proud about. And that's also one of the reasons why we're doing more here in Arizona.
Congrats, man. It's a very a huge endeavor to take on
Yeah.
at 19. So when you say hacker, are we talking about black hat, white hat, or is that
Oh
just
no,
the
so
nomenclature for development?
yeah, it's just yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
developers. Yeah.
Okay. What is the what's your most innovative thing that you've seen someone work on in one of your events so far? Like
Uh,
what's the T here?
yeah. Well, so actually, there's been a lot of projects, and and yeah, it's too hard to think of one single project. But there is this one startup that I'm working along with my friend. It's called
Okay.
Roomify. So what they do is they help you find subleases and roommates, and and this they came up with this because the one who came with the product himself was a student, and he had a really hard time finding a sublease and roommates, and he found out that all of his friends around him also had the same problem, and the only best place to do that was to find a roommate or sublease was WhatsApp groups or Facebook Marketplace. So he was like, why not, let's build an app for this and make life easier for everybody.
Okay. And so then,
Yeah.
The audience loves it.
yeah. So with the I've been out of the game out of ASU for a while now. So how would you describe folks your age and how they look at I guess entrepreneurship or jumping into tech
Uh,
companies?
yeah.
Excited? Yeah.
Yeah. When I came into my freshman year, I didn't see a lot of people around here wanting to do the same thing that I did.
Okay.
Going out there, learning new things. But now that I'm having a club of my own, we are on a lookout for people like that, and it's that when I realized that there are actually a lot of people here, and they just don't have the right place to be at, and DevLabs now trying to be the place that they want to be. We've seen a lot of people who actually want to build and all of that, and I mean there are really a lot of talented people out there, but not a lot of them have proper guidance, about how to go build a company out there, or at least what path to choose in terms of getting into software development, right? So, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there is definitely a lot of talent out here in Arizona, and that's the main reason why we are doing all of this, right? What we're doing at DevLab.
So let's talk about your it's not really an announcement. You've been like talking about it online, but like please share your plans for the summer. What are you cooking? That's the word I use on Twitter for you.
Yeah.
What are you cooking up here?
Cool. So, almost all of them know it now. We are building something called Dev House. It's a 6-week founder bootcamp for 20 of Arizona's most ambitious startup builders, right? Where they live, build, launch startups together all under one roof. And this is going to happen from the 26th of June to the 2nd of August. You're going to be building alongside your friends who are like-minded builders like you. We have VCs, we have startup founders, we have VPs from Fortune 500 companies coming here to mentor you, pitch you on how to build a startup, what to do, what not to do, how to make a pitch deck, how to go sell your product out there. So if you want to be a founder this summer, Dev House is the best place you can be at. So make sure you check that out. Devlabs.club. Go there and register for this
What's
program.
what's the requirements? You got to be
Uh,
in ASU. You got to be a certain age, or
it's
what's the requirements?
it's open for all founders, but we are especially targeting student founders. And I mean, you have to at least be a little further than just being an early stage startup. You have to have your product out there and you know got some users before you could register and be a part of this.
Okay, so it's a hacker. So it's a hacker house, and then
Yeah.
are you gonna have Is this going to be a reality show as well, or are you guys all about
Cool.
actually
So
getting this built?
yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about what we've been doing throughout the 6 weeks, right?
Hmm.
So you have the kickoff on the first week, and then we'd have check-ins about your progress throughout the Hacker House. And every week you would have a mentor coming in and teaching you chapters about. So the first chapter is going to be about, the builder mindset. Why do you even need to, what's the mindset you need to, have a startup? And the second one is going to be how to validate your idea. That's the second week going to be. The third week is going to be about how to market your product. And we'll have chapters like this throughout the 6 weeks. And the sixth week is going to be, the demo day where it's time for the big show. They all come in, pitch their products, and see if they'll get funded, right? So yeah, I mean, at the end of the 6th week, I don't know if they'll all have 20 startups with them, but they'll damn well be better founders. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, congrats. Well, yeah. Good luck with that, and we will see. Yeah, we'll see what cooks out of this
Yep.
hacker house here, especially the quality of
Yep.
companies and founders.
One thing I have a question about with this is help me envision, like, let's say I'm a founder that does this. I'm like one of the 20 founders. Like, walk me through like my like an average day or an average week. Like, am I going? I'm not even gonna put any words in your mouth. Like, I'm a founder. I'm in this program. What does my lived experience look like this summer, or maybe like a day out of the summer?
Cool. Yeah. So we got an amazing venue out here in Phoenix, thanks to Loloft. You'd have 24/7 access to it. So the kickoff is going to be, of course, at Lola. Everything is going to be there, right? So the kickoff is going to happen, and then it's going to be like a small mixer event. Matt's going to be there. A lot of people from the valley, they're going to be there. So you might want to network with them, and right when that's done, you will get office hours with us, and we will walk you through everything that you need to do throughout the 6 weeks, right? We'll give you like a short rundown of what we expect from you, what you have to do, and all of that. And once these just basic expectations, right? We just want you to work on your product, and once we're done with that, then you just come in and start working. And every week we'd have check-ins, asking you about your progress of your startup and how it's going. And yeah, I mean, that's basically going to be, and that's basically how it's going to be until the 6th week, where you'll have to come and demo your product.
So are we thinking? Yeah, how are we thinking the house makeup is going to look like? Are we thinking engineers like osmosis for thought, or is this going to be a lot of CEOs, or is it all only CEOs, and then where's the engineering and where's the where you get the osmosis going then, depending
I
on.
I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
So if the makeup of the house is just CEOs, or is it going to be technical people? Is it going to be engineers? Are you going to be doing games that are trying to challenge their thinking? Like how are you gonna spur up
Yeah.
innovate? Like I could go to your house, but the internet's probably good at mine. So
Sure, sure. Yeah,
yeah.
so one, that's the reason we invite all these people across the value. We want you to go talk with them. They might ignite a spark in you. They might teach you a lot of things. And the whole point of a hacker house is just, waking up together, seeing each other, building together, keep yourselves motivated because your friend's building and you also want to build with him, learning new things together. And that's the whole point of all these sessions that we are doing, right? We come and teach you how to build a startup. So those are some of the activities we do to come, help you become a better founder and ignite that vision in you. So, yeah.
How much does it cost? Does it? Are you guys taking percentages in the company? Like
Uh,
what's the? How do you get paid?
I mean, we are non-profitable for now. We are just doing this with a mission to, uplift and uplift the startup scene out here in Arizona. Right now, we are non-profitable, but yeah, we are definitely looking into, how to make money out of this.
So
I,
I can
I
go
like
for
I like
free. I could go for free.
if you get selected, if you're
Oh
one
yeah,
of the
if you
20.
get selected, you can come for free. Yeah.
Oh, it's for free. Okay, all right.
It's funny. Like, I love that. Like, you said not profitable in a way that made me think for a second you were gonna say not you're a
Profit.
nonprofit.
Yeah,
But you just said
nonprofit.
like you're
Yeah.
not profitable. Like, that's like that's kind of hilarious to me. Like, good for, like, you know what? Hold up. We need a round of applause for that. Just because it's like sometimes in order to do things that are necessary, you need to like be not profitable for a second. Of course, got to be profitable at some point, but like good for you to just like getting it out there and making it happen. Is there anything else you want to get out to the millions, the tens of millions of people that are watching AZTFN right now?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I just want all of you guys to know that we are out here serving the mission, and I am always open to sponsors, which will enable us to do greater things like this. And yep, we're always looking for sponsors and more builders who want to be a part of this program. So yep, we're always having open hands for things like that.
How much sponsors? How much sponsorship dollars are you guys looking for, so we get the word out?
Cool. I mean, for this event in particular, for the Hacker House in particular, we are still looking out for sponsorships, and it's going to be about 10 to 15K to make this happen throughout the 6 weeks. But yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you heard it here. He needs $150,000
No, no, no. I
to
No,
said
no,
get
no,
this
Ted,
to get this thing going. No,
you
I
said
heard.
you said Ted.
I heard what he said. I'm gonna people. He needs $150,000 to get this going.
I didn't hear. I heard 1.5 million. What are you
There we
what are you
go.
talking
I mean,
about?
I'm never going to say no to money, right? Yeah, I'm taking it all.
But
Yeah.
in reality, I was one of the sponsors for the hackathon. I'm not, I don't have too much money, but I was just like, let's take a bet on this guy. Let's see what comes of it. And honestly, I could not have been more pleased with the outcome of the hackathon. It was just like it was killer. Like you were like 200 people there. The vibes were great. You like executed like even it wasn't an investment, but like I knew it was just like money that I wasn't gonna get anything back from outside of like seeing what you did, and you crushed it. So I think like I'm super excited for this and all the other future things that you've planned in the canon. And yeah, I think the future is bright for Dead Labs,
Yeah,
100%.
let's go. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Any last questions, Philip, or are we good with Danush?
Nah, it's good to go. Yeah, nice meeting you,
All right.
Dinesh.
Nice meeting
All right.
you.
See you, Danush.
All right.
See
Have a
you
nice one.
see you in the house. Bye.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Man, what I like about Danush is he is a nice combination of like really confident and like kind of like let's do something crazy, but also bringing in the community with him. So it's like shit. I mean, it's not like really much of a downside of like me going in and speaking. It's like very easy for me to do.
Correct.
And he's just like I think he's got Silicon Oasis like working with him on it, and he's just like he's working with Lolo Loft. Like he's like crazy, but he's like doing the thing. And it's like a nice combination of because we all know folks that are one of the two, and doing the thing's fine but boring. Being crazy without doing the thing is
Being
what it
crazy.
is, and the combination is nice. Do
Cool.
you have any
Okay.
reflect before our last guest joins? And I am texting him; he should be on in a minute. Any reflections on Danush and what he's doing?
Yeah, no, I mean it's good to get more hackathons going that are actually student led, because that's the irony, right? Is that a lot of this stuff is ran by either a corporation that may or may not actually use the technology, a school that may or may not be able to actually push it forward, or it's done by uh, non builders, right? So as long as he's a builder himself, so he's bringing along the community, which justifies why he was able to bring 200. I mean, ASU is a huge school, but he was able to bring 200 kids. That's a pretty good litmus test there. And I would assume that they are truly builders, right? Because why else would you, why else would you be going
Yep.
to student led hackathon? So yeah, all power to them for that. And I hope he continues to kill it. And can't wait for him to drop out of school so we can get some companies going.
Well, his is this it's a his co-founder of the club, Dravia, is like dude. This has been the most crack duo since like the Air Garage guys, at least from what I have like exposure to. Like so we just met we just met Danush, who's a legend, and his co-founder just he moved to SF to build super memory, and he's just absolutely blowing up over there. And I'm just like, these two students started this club, and they're both just like cracked as hell. It's just wild. And yeah. Anyways, speaking of cracked, what's up, Tyler?
So, yeah.
How's it going?
He's like, nice. Here
Great
we go.
intro. I love it. Get right into it.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to I think I like the welcome to AZTFN.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's
Right?
good.
Is it
Yeah,
good?
yeah,
Isn't it good?
that's solid.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Busy day. Just had to make some dinner for the kids, and now I'm back.
Very nice. How many kids do you have?
2 kids, 5
Two.
and 3.
2 kids, 5 and 3. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so, for folks who may not be familiar with you, can you just give a brief introduction on you and what you're working on, and we
Yeah.
can go from there?
Yeah, definitely. Tyler Lieber from Arizona, born and raised here, born and raised in Peoria on the west side of the valley. And then I went up to school at BYU. Just out of BYU, my co-founder and I started a Venture Validator. That was a market research startup. And we basically told other startups if they had a good product or not. And then after that, so we sold that after about 2 or 3 years, and then went right into Coconut. So Coconut is what we're building right now. We've been doing this for about 3.5 years. Coconut, we staff virtual assistants, executive assistants. Um, right now, we've been doing a lot of managed VAs. So we'll find somebody and we'll actually manage everything for that VA on the back end while you just basically delegate stuff to them. And that's what we've been doing.
Nice. Okay. And is this where most of the VAs out of what country?
Yeah,
Or
so
are they
for the
here?
managed EAs, yeah, it's been the Philippines.
Philippines. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And what is your feeling of AI kind of replacing these folks? What's your take on that? What's your hot take on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think, been a little bit lucky in that we've always focused on the higher level talent. I think there's a lot of VA agencies or a lot of VAs that have very basic skill sets and like, list building or very basic lead gen, very basic social media management. So I'd say a lot of those VAs are going to be out of jobs very quickly, if not already, with so many AI tools out there. I'd say the very high level, like executive assistants that are like working one on one with founders, with CEOs, doing a lot higher level tasks or more complex tasks. And really, I think the difference is that we really need to get to, or we really need to be able to stick to the higher level talent that can actually own a project. And I think that's where we have a little bit more of a staying power, a little bit longer. I'm sure AI will take everything eventually, but I'd say for the next 5 to 10 years, that type of talent, it's on a kind of a different playing field, really, where, if it's a basic VA, even a very basic SDR, AI can do a lot of what they do, but if there's talent that can actually take on a task, be very proactive, and just own the outcome, that person can then use a lot of AI tools to be successful. And I think that's really the difference. So yeah, I'm excited to be in this space, and I think we have still a lot of staying power for at least the next 5, 10 years.
It,
Nice.
I get the impression that like 2 years ago, this model was like the influencer's haven. What I mean by that is like the co-founder of Morning Brew,
Yeah.
Austin Reeve, got in the game, and there's
Yep.
Nick Cooper got in the game.
Uh-huh.
And I
Yeah.
did some research. I think, and you can fact check me, but I think Coconut's like based on traffic and just like what I can see externally is smoking both of those companies. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing to smoke these like influencer led companies? What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, and it's hard to know for sure. I haven't seen behind the curtain on all of these other companies. We've seen a little bit behind the curtain here and there. And from what we've seen, I think a lot of it is how we treat the VAs. Like a very, very big competitor of ours, we know that for the same client rate, so if, a client's paying 2K a month, $2,000 a month for this VA, we are paying that same VA twice as much as they are. So really, we're taking a bigger hit on our margins, and I'm pretty sure we have the very best benefits out of all the agencies I know of to our VAs. So we have like a 97, 98% retention on the VA side. And so we're like, we're kind of the job to get for a lot of VAs that have all of the options laid out before them. It's like, well, why wouldn't I take this job with Coconut over anybody else? Because I could get double the pay, I can get full suite of benefits. My favorite story is like this civil engineer a couple years ago. She was looking for a civil engineering job. Then she ended up taking a VA job, an executive assistant job, because it paid, you know, two times as much as the civil engineering job and a lot more benefits. So we're getting really high level, really high quality talent. And I think that really helps us in the long run to capture more market share and just, yeah, more staying power.
What is a give us like a pro level use case for a VA? Because I think there's a misunderstanding, or maybe it's the nomenclatures, but a lot of
Yeah.
people when they think of VA, they're thinking like calendar assistant, scheduling
Right.
meetings, maybe setting up lunch meetings, parties, like low
Yeah.
level things that a secretary would do, but that secretary is doing it for 100 people at a time. What is a
Yeah.
real, actual, better use case for a VA, and how do the pros use the VAs?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's two aspects to that. Like one, VA is a very limiting term, right? So like we source all types of roles. So, we've supplied even scrum masters before, project managers,
Correct.
ops managers, even chief of staff a few times, and then also like very technical talent as well. So like developers, junior devs, senior devs. So a whole host of roles kind of fall in that, Coconut VA umbrella. It's not just like an executive assistant, which people typically think of, which is like the email, the calendar, that type of stuff. But then even if you get into like that type of a role, an executive assistant, for like kind of pro level usage, it's really like kind of right hand on everything administrative. So one example, even from our perspective, is we do founder events, and we do them San Francisco, Austin, Texas, New York City, and like our EAs, they basically do everything to manage those events. So we could use, again, it's all about the ownership, right? Like we could use tools for each one of those steps, but we would still have to be directly involved in that and monitor it, make sure everything's running well, turning things on and off when they need to, or we can just hand this to this human who can now manage all of these tools for us. And so that's been incredibly helpful for us. Of like, they reach out to people, they coordinate the venue, they figure out the sponsorships, they send out the invoices, follow up, if people haven't paid the invoices, do follow up emails afterwards. They write personalized notes for these guests. So literally just A to Z on everything. And so that's, I'd say, the pro level usage is just having something in your life where you don't have to be the one actually, pulling the trigger or touching that task. It's something that they can do for you.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Love it. Thank you. Thank you.
Incredible. That's incredible. As like this operation, I mean, we're just getting started with this. Obviously, Tyler, you and I have discussed like, some of my media ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a very good chance I end up getting a Coconut, assistant, or a Coconut, like, help, member of my team to help me
Yeah.
like with all the media efforts, because it's not just like this, which we'll see what this turns into. I have
Yeah.
forward thinking founders. I have my YouTube channel, and there's just like a lot of
Right.
admin stuff where I'm just like, I don't like, I got a job too. Like
Yeah.
I got all this, and I got a job. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I
exactly.
there's like I'm not over the line yet, because it does of course cost money, but it's more reasonable than people think it would cost. Can you like kind of
Yeah.
dive into like if I wanted someone to help me with what I just mentioned? Obviously, this is a generalization, but like, what are we talking here? Is it several
Yeah.
thousand a month? Is it less? Like what does the range look like?
Yeah, I'm really excited. We're coming out with actually a new pricing page in the very near future with a couple of different offerings. So we're actually going to be adding on a direct hire option. So because there are people that say, hey, like I already have all the systems I need. I've already outsourced before. I just need help finding the talent. So we're going to add that offering soon. And that's like the cheapest long-term option. And like I'm totally honest and transparent about that. Like, yeah, in the long run, that will be cheaper for you. But then for the people that want more help on just time, not necessarily saving a ton of money, we have the managed VA offering. And so like the lowest for that is $900 a month, but that's a part-time person. So that's, basically 80 hours per month, 20 hours per week. But that is like a very base level skill set, maybe a college grad who hasn't had a lot of, experience. So you could train them up for sure. And they're smart people, and like you can train them, of course. But then you get up to the higher levels, and that's like $1,400 a month, again for a part-time person, or maybe $2,000 a month. And then obviously you can kind of basically just double that for full-time hours. And those are people that have, hey, 10 plus years of experience in this field, doing this job, working for a competitor or a very similar company. And that's when things get really, really impressive, because then they are very proactive people and they've been doing this. They know exactly what to do. You don't have to train them very much. You just have to train them to your specific use case, your specific company, whatever it is. And then they just kind of hit the ground running.
Okay.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, and then what is a, I guess, an up and coming country that's having more VAs come out of it? Because you said Philippines, and I've heard that
Yeah.
plenty of times. What's the new hot country coming out?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The Philippines is hard to beat. I mean, they're just amazing people. They're very kind. They've got really strong work ethic. And then, still like the arbitrage between the dollar and the Philippine peso is still strong. So there's still definitely a cost savings for people outsourcing. Now it is interesting. There are definitely different hubs for different types of talent or different types of roles. That's why we want to do this direct hire option because people have asked us for technical talent, but it's harder to find those people in the Philippines. So the Philippines is limited because I would say it's limited to really, really good admin talent or back office type people. But if you want to get like a really strong developer, then maybe like Eastern Europe, you can still have that like arbitrage between the dollar. But they're extremely talented people and they have, a whole host of experience already working for US B2B SaaS companies.
Right.
And then like South America, like Brazil, for example, they have amazing graphic design people where again, kind of in the Philippines, just to contrast that, like they're a little bit stuck in like 2009, 2011 type design.
Okay.
And it works really well there in the Philippines, but for US people, it just doesn't hit. So it really depends on kind of what role you're looking for.
Okay. And you said Brazil for design.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
other
South
Brazil.
America, there's yeah, but Brazil I've heard is really, really solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think last question from me before we call it a day. Also, I wanted to do this with the other guests, but I forgot, so I'm gonna have us all smile. Actually, let's just do it right now. Let's all smile.
Cool.
I'm gonna take a little selfie here. Woohoo! All right. If you're watching the stream, you should feel left out. You should become a guest. Then you also get a selfie too. My
There
last
you go.
question is: you live in Arizona. I believe you said you're born and raised, which is awesome. I was as
Yeah.
well. What do you like about Arizona? Like, what do you like about building here, living here? How do you like
Yeah.
AZ?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I'm, got a family now, so there's that aspect of it. But in general, like, I mean, like, one other thing is that I hate the snow, so I love that it doesn't snow here. That's one random little thing that I love. But overall, I'd say, of course, I grew up here, so I know the people here really well. I know what kind of people live here. But I really do enjoy like speaking with other founders, with other Arizona-based founders. I feel like they're always fairly down to earth people. And there are a lot of builders here. So I'm not, I'll be honest, like I'm not one to be insanely ambitious. Like, hey, I want to build $1 billion company. I want to build a really strong, cash flowing, recurring revenue type business. And I feel like there are a lot of people here that are doing that and are very successful at that, like self-made, self-made, companies in a lot of different industries, right? Like obviously real estate is a huge one, construction, those types of industries. So that's the only thing that's been a little bit isolating is trying to find those hubs of builders that are in the tech space or are doing more exciting things than just real estate and construction, whatever it is. But it's really honestly been fun trying to build that here, trying to find and connect more of those people. And like Matt, I mean, has obviously done a fantastic job laying the groundwork, doing a lot of that. And there's a couple other big names that have done an incredible job. And for a while there, I was doing little pickleball events with other Arizona founders. I want to start doing that again because I love pickleball. I love just chatting with these people that are just building amazing things. So yeah, I've loved it here.
Love to hear that. Philip, any last questions before we let Tyler go?
No, I mean, great meeting you. I think we might
Me
have
too.
encountered before, but yeah, definitely let me know when the pickleball starts back up.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
love
we'll
to
do.
join you. Yeah.
Sweet, sounds good. Thank you guys.
I definitely have considered getting a membership to Pickler in North
Ah,
Scottsdale. It's expensive, but
I
it's a
know
super
it's
solid.
expensive. Yeah,
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 but
yeah.
pickleball, it's not cheap if you want to play, but if you play, then you're in the game, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Thanks
Love
for
it.
coming on, Tyler.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, I have some exciting news. As we were talking to Tyler, I got the domain aztfn.com.
Calm. Wow, look at that.
$10.
Okay.
You know how much AZTFN or no, you know how much AZTF.com costs? 25,000 bucks.
25,000. Yeah, 25,000.
I saw that when it was an auction for like $10, but obviously they were wanted to drive it up, so they
Yeah.
at some point then moved it to like $5,000. I'm like, yeah, I'll offer a little lower, but like that's doable. Then like a few weeks later, they boosted it to 24 or 25. I'm just like, come on,
Yeah,
come
no,
on, like
no.
I'm not doing that,
Yeah, not happening.
But if I can get AZTFN for $10, that's not bad.
Yeah, parlay it out. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a jam-packed episode here or live stream. We learned. Let's see. Who we talked to? We talked to Sam, the CEO of Treasure, about all things treasury. Talked to Danush, super ambitious, young builder and founder out of Arizona State, and we just talked to Tyler Lieber of Coconut. What's the number? What's even and that plus the news that we covered? What stands out to you? What's the number one thing that stands out to you out of this whole session, Philip? What are you gonna remember in a day or two from this?
I mean, I guess I'll probably remember the Hacker House. I mean, it's different, right? And well, I definitely want to. I would like to see how that goes. It feels like a reality TV show by default, so I think that one's the most memorable. But I am going to go check out some Brazil designers now that Tyler said that.
Yeah, Tyler, it's crazy, dude. He's like a freaking like his company's like one of the leaders, but you wouldn't like know from him talking because he's just so like he's so humble and just like a good operator. Yeah. But like he's like he won't say this, but I will. He's like mopping the floor with his competitors. It's pretty great. I love that it's Arizona based. Yeah. Well, Philip, it was an honor and a privilege co-hosting this first AZTFN stream with you. Do you have any last words before we call it a stream and call it a day?
Well, yeah, no, thanks for having me. Thanks for, thinking this idea. I think it is definitely needed to just get more founders and stories out in Arizona. So, definitely keep it up. It's a tireless, joyless job, but we appreciate you. We appreciate you doing it.
I appreciate that. I do it in a way that I like. I will not do it in a way that I don't enjoy. I've done that enough where it's like I've done it in formats where I don't get joy out of it. I don't enjoy it, and then it's like, why am I doing this? So now I do it my way. Not everyone likes that, and that's fine. But as long as I can do it my way, it allows me to keep the stamina up, so I can keep doing it. Or else, like, what's the point if I hate it? And it's like, if I hate it, why am I doing it? Right? So I'm just doing what I love. And I want to also thank the audience, all the millions, the billions of people listening. We're gonna call it a day for you all. Thank you everyone for tuning in.